to the show where you suggest an object and I see just how well it juggles. It's Evan's Juggling Lab. Clocks. A wondrous creation, a timepiece for the wall. Much better than sundials and then made redundant by smartphones. So to start off this adventure, we're gonna unbox our beautiful clock here, get some batteries in it, and see what makes it tick. So here we go. Why is it screwed into the box? Look at that. What is this? I'll go find a screwdriver and I will return. This is like the weirdest way to mount something that does not need to be mounted this way. Oh wait. It's literally designed to not need a screwdriver. That's so wasteful, actually. What the heck? I can already tell we may have a slight problem, and that's the fact that this is not designed to be thrown, and there's nothing holding in the battery here. So, let's see what happens. And just like that, it appears we have a clock that works. And I'm curious, if I shake it, is it still gonna keep time? It appears to. And just like that, that's a lot of clocks. My goodness. And for our first very sciencey test, we're gonna test juggleability. You have 3 different clocks all at the same time. Here we go. Okay. Oh, they're really hard to hold on to, which could prove to be a problem. And now here we go. They are flimsy, pointy, and juggleable. Not bad. Still ticking. The only part I really have to complain about is this part right here. When you grab it with your hands, it is very pointy, which I'm sure after juggling for many, many hours would start to hurt. But for just this, easy peasy. So to rate the juggleability, I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Because it does juggle just fine, you can throw it and catch it pretty easily and even drop. And it's quite similar to a ring, but it's a little bit painful, so I don't want to juggle it all the time. See, you can hardly tell the difference. And now it's time for the fun part. Drop a bit. Let's see how well these things drop. In order to actually include something in my act, it has to be able to withstand my act. Which means, because I'm a comedy juggler, I do quite a lot of dropping. So, let's see if they can actually survive just on the studio floor. This is of course carpeted with a mat and then hardwood underneath. Laminate underneath. So it should be a bit safer than something like concrete, which we'll test later. But for now, let's try juggling, doing a trick that's a bit too hard, and doing a genuine drop. Ooh. Okay, we're doing good. And now, let's see if we can do Mill's Mess. No damage. Clock number 1. Clock number 2. Clock number 3. That's a pleasant surprise. Let's do a bit of a worse drop. This time let's try under the legs. That was a genuine drop. No damage. Again, I'm actually genuinely surprised. Is this plastic? Wait. I'm pretty sure this is not glass. That actually might be beneficial to me. If this is plastic, that means it's less likely to just shatter. So that's nice. So for droppability over regular floors, I give it a 10 out of 10. And now it's time for the fun part. Trick potential. since the clocks juggle pretty much exactly the same as the rings, I'm thinking we could probably do every single ring trick with them. Except for things like the ring grinds. That might be a bit impressive. We should definitely try it. But before we do that, let's try the basic tricks. Of course, we have regular juggling, which we've tried before. Works great. When it comes to trick potential, I really just want to see how much more practice these will take than rings, because realistically, I know they juggle. It'll be fine. They're gonna get a high rating. But will I be able to do things like columns easily without having to think about it? And the answer is, that was pretty good. Okay. Of course, maybe just a single under the leg instead of the continuous that made me drop earlier. Oh boy. And if well, that was dramatic. Dropability is going downhill. We have an injury. Look at the crack. Can you see it? Don't look at its crack. My goodness. But look at the crack. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is why we do the concrete test a little bit after we do the juggleability test. It's important. Let's try under the leg again. So they got fully stuck on my fingers. I'll try it more carefully. There we go, okay. Whew. And then, So, the problem is, it starts off fine, and then you catch one slightly and it's really hard to recover from. So unless I'm doing regular juggling, which doesn't have a lot of error, the margin for error is smaller than I thought. Okay, you just have to open your hands more and just feel it. So if you try to catch it like a ring, which is like this, you can hardly open your hands at all, you're gonna bump it and it's gonna go terribly wrong. But if you open your hands fully, it'll eventually bounce moderately into place if you hit the glass before the other side. Plasticky pointy part. I do have an idea for one trick that I think would be quite nice for the joke potential section. This is what is known as the overhand throws, because it kind of, you know, it looks like it's flying, how time flies. And I don't really want to do a high throw because I have a feeling they might shatter. But I think at some point it might be doable to do with the clock, so here we go. That was coming right at my face. This might be more dangerous than I thought. There's one. Ooh, there's two. There's three. 1, 2. No! We made progress. Boom, boom. That's the trick. That was pretty good. Nice. I suppose the other fun one would be things like pancake flips where you... I'm just gonna nix that one immediately. Anyway, what a pancake flip is where you flip it like a pancake as you're juggling and it looks really cool, but no. The pure curiosity ring grind. It actually kind of works. I think trick potential has way too much of a margin for error with actually dropping them, so I'm gonna give it a solid 4 out of 10. Dropability update. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the hands are officially at the bottom now, because this has started pulling out. Oh, is it fixed? It moves, but can you hear that? That's the sound of the hands hitting each other, which means it probably isn't gonna work properly anymore. Sorry, Mr. Clock. Let's move on to joke potential. So as a comedy juggler, joke potential usually means pun potential. And the other ones are a bit harder to write, but I'll figure it out eventually. So, I got my handy notebook, I got a pen, let's see what I come up with. See you shortly. Clock jokes have been written, and some are better than others. Let's see. So my first one is, of course, why are clocks so good at juggling? They have great timing. See, it's not a bad one, but of course our next one's even better and more obvious. It's time flies when you're having fun and juggling clocks. Okay. And then of course we have our next one, which is don't get wound up. I have another joke after this. Or if I want it more juggling related, I could say I have cooler tricks. That's a bit more make sensey. I don't know. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, so this is a hard one, like a juggling trick, kind of. That's the context. This is a hard one. Give me a minute. Thank you. And then, of course, we have, why is juggling clocks so annoying? It really ticks me off. And then, of course, we also have a bunch of options for puns, like stuff with hands, like gotta hand it to you. Hands up, like it's noon or something. Clock this, that's important. That one's pretty easy, like pay attention, clock this, look at that. We also have clocking in and out, like maybe I can do a juggling trick where I'm throwing something far away then in close. But we've noticed with our juggle ability, that might not be possible. Ow! Clock in, clock out. Clock in, clock out. Clock in, clock out. See, that kind of makes sense. I'm just not that good at doing the two in one hand. Ow. Oh, the opposite of hands up would be hands down at 6:30. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. And then, of course, we also have their favorite meal. It doesn't matter, as long as it's seconds. So that's what I came up with after a 10-minute writing session. And, you know, some of those are definitely okay. But I can't decide which one's my favorite, whether it's why are clocks so good at juggling, they have great timing, or time sure flies when you're having fun, or juggling clocks. Because both of those have very good TikTok potential, which, when it comes to random puns, is important. But then if I do end up doing a juggling act in the future, then you can kind of mix in the other ones here and there. You kind of gotta build up a story of your own though, and that's a lot of work. So let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the audience, he's back in just the nick of time for another comedy juggling act. It's Evan, the Juggler.
And now for my next act, it's time for something a little bit sillier. Although I don't know if I can top the last act. Juggling 3 lions on a 12-foot tall unicycle was pretty impressive. Yeah. But silly is fun too. So let's see if I can perform for you juggling clocks. Now, juggling clocks does have a problem, and that's that it's really annoying. Yeah, super annoying. It really ticks me off. Ugh. Yeah, every time I tried to juggle them, there'd be ticking noises all around my head, and I just couldn't stand it. So, I took the batteries out. And now look at it. Time sure flies when you're having fun. Or juggling clocks. Is it 6:30 yet? Because this is hands down the coolest trick there is. Okay, don't get wound up. I do have cooler tricks. I was just joking. So let's see if I can do another fun one. Now juggling 1 clock is much safer than juggling 3, because now it's much more likely I'll drop one of the balls instead. And I don't think I could face my bank account. If I broke a clock every show, that'd get expensive quick. I gotta hand it to you. It sounds like you've clocked every single one of my puns so far. You're my new favorite. Oh, I have another one for you. Okay, here we go. What's a clock's favorite meal? Doesn't matter. As long as there's seconds. Okay, I'll try the hard trick. Let's see if I can do it. Here we go. Okay. The difficult trick. Here we go. Ooh. Okay, this is a hard one, okay? Give me a minute. Ooh, 3. Very generous of you. Thank you. Alright. Hardest trick. You know what? Maybe I just need a break. Maybe I should just clock out. No? Okay, fine. I'll clock back in. And clock out. And clock in. And clock out. And clock in. And clock out. I don't get rated at 9 to 5. Clock in. Clock out. Clock out. Oh, would you look at the time? It's time to do the next act. Anyway, there's the clocks, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next. Well, there's joke potential, and I dare say that went actually pretty good for a first attempt ever. So, not bad. I still have timing, get it, time? And like kind of the nuances of the act to work on and like grow into, but that always happens after many performances of an act. But for now, I will say I actually might perform it a couple of times in the future, in like street performing and whatnot, because actually that went quite well. And on top of that, I think we actually got at least 2 TikToks out of my jokes. Why are clocks so great for juggling? Overall, joke potential, I give it a 10 out of 10. Now for dropability. Welcome to our second test of dropability, to see if the clock can survive concrete. So this is a fairly easy test. We drop a clock onto concrete from regular height to see if it, well, shatters. It didn't shatter, but it wasn't good. Oh no. Let's try a couple more times, see how it holds up. Unfortunately, due to the fact that concrete is hard, and so is the plastic being quite brittle, it is slowly disintegrating with every single drop. So I give it a concrete dropability of 1. And for our final tally of points, clocks get a juggleability rating of 9 out of 10, trick potential of 4 out of 10, drop potential of an updated score of 1 out of 10, joke potential is 10 out of 10, giving us an overall rating of, take the averages, 6 out of 10. Until I can find some better clocks that are more durable for the dropping. And now, without further ado, it's time to thank the people that made this series possible. The patrons! So if you guys don't know, right now, Evan's Juggling Lab is completely sponsored by my Patreon page at patreon.com/EvanTheJuggler, where of course all of our lovely patrons get cool exclusive content like bonus episodes of the podcast, this episode early, blooper reels, and so much more. So if you want to support the show and of course get some other cool stuff, do consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/EvanTheJuggler. Thank you again, patrons, you guys are awesome. And of course, if you have any other suggestions for interesting things you want us to test the juggleability of, leave them in the comments below and that might become a future episode of Evan's Juggling Lab. And that's a wrap for Evan's Juggling Lab, episode 1. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.